In this video, we've gone back in time to April 2024 and we're exploring the Victorian high country to camp in the mountains and have a crack at some 4x4 tracks. We're starting off with some regular sightseeing and then eventually heading higher into the mountains for some off-roading and epic camp spots.
So we were at another camp, it was quite a while ago, and there's this other dude with his caravan and his family, and he's making a barbecue, and this kookaburra has swooped down, grabbed a sausage off the barbecue, and he's caught the kookaburra mid-flight, grabbed the sausage out of its mouth and threw the kookaburra back in the air.
They gave him a tuning.
Told him off and then set him free. And then he's just sort of like looking around like, did anyone else see that?
Look at the little spuds. They look amazing. Cooked to perfection.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Get you.
I actually had to whack him out of the air.
Oh my god, get out of it.
Not in the fire. So one of the first things we've noticed about while we're cruising around this part of country Victoria is how much a lot of the old history revolved around gold mining. And we're at a historic site now, Wallaby Mine. And this apparently there's a bit of equipment down here that was built in 1912. I don't think that shed's there anymore, but yeah, let's go have a look. Rightio. So I think I know how this works. It looks like a pile of junk, but when you learn how it works, and it was built over 100 years ago, it's like, that's crazy. And the scale of this, anyway. So there was mention of a boiler and steam power. I can see a big barrel in the bush there. I don't know how they connected the drive to this wheel, but this large wheel in here was the drive for it. And then this shaft here, this shaft is the camshaft or something, and that would have been mounted up on top of these crossbeams. And then as that wheel turned and those gears were meshed, this thing's turning and these smooth curves are passing past these lumps. And as it goes past, it drags that rod up, then it comes down and slams, and they would shovel ore into these boxes here, so that would be full of ore, which hopefully has gold in it, and that's just repeatedly just going up and down and dropping these hammers to smash the gold out of the ore. Isn't that sick? For how old it is and how massive it is.
Another old bit of gear that we found was the Eldorado gold dredge. This thing used a giant chain and buckets to dig up the creek bed, bringing gold and tin with the soil from below. On our way past, we zipped up Mount Buffalo, which was an unexpected highlight. When the conditions are good, Mount Buffalo is two-wheel drive friendly and has a range of epic little hike trails at the top. This one was a super cool journey through the boulders, almost feeling like tunnels and caves until you reach this epic viewpoint.
Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think it's all angels just walk by. I think it's all angels just walk by.
After failing to spot any buffalo, we headed south to the next mountain range.
We lost our minds in the darkness of night. We live to die. We lose our souls every day. We lost our minds. We don't remember what's wrong and what's right. What's right. The world is dead, but we stay. 'Cause we are born as living fights. We live to die.
Well, it's a new day. It's first thing in the morning. I'm just moving the car because we've got a bit of a tailwind, so I'm trying to get our kitchen out of the wind. Yesterday we drove up the Great Alpine Road, which was quite an experience in itself. Right up into the high country, and then we found a mint little camp on a hill, and it was beautiful sunset and everything. And today it's almost more pretty, but it's way colder, and I'll show you why in a second. Alright, have a look at this. It actually snowed last night. Yeah, the wind was coming from behind us, which it still is. Don't think it's snowing anymore. Yeah. But damn, look. Look at that. It's a winter wonderland. Alright, first mission, make some coffees because it's freezing. So, we'll have to try and move some of the snow off.
We are just shadows. It's supposed to be that we die. It doesn't matter if there is no light anymore, no light anymore. 'Cause we are born as living fights. We live to die. We live to die, and we surrounded by the night. We live to die. We are shadows.
So we're on our way to the first off-road track on our list, which is the Blue Rag Range track. But with conditions getting worse, we've had to change our plans and look for somewhere to make camp and wait for this to blow over. We found a clearing at the end of this little side track, and if I can just sneak around the edge of this mud, I can hopefully save a few bucks at the next car wash. It turns out that's easier said than done with this icy ground, but I'm determined to stay mud free.
Mate, we were excited about the snow at the last spot, but it's way thicker here. So, conditions didn't lend itself for driving the Blue Rag track. One, because if it is as steep as people say it is, probably very silly in this with all this slippery white stuff around. And two, we actually want to be able to see the views up there, so we saw this track just peeling off at the start, and yeah, we're gonna make camp here. And it's snowing again. It was meant to be clearing showers, but now I'm wondering if we can even wait this out.
This is it, you reckon? Just snow forever.
Yeah, until we leave. Just chucked the awning out for a bit of protection. And I'm dreaming, I think, because we don't have any dry wood, but I'm just trying to warm up some wood for a fire. Hopes and dreams of a fire.
It's dishes water.
Are we on water rations?
Yeah.
Suppose if we get snowed in, we might run out of water. So we camped overnight. We've had a long sleep in because it was super foggy and cloudy still this morning. We've been waiting for it to clear up. Finally, there's blue sky and a bit of sunlight, which is good. The nights have been pretty calm up here, but there's still been like a few gentle gusts of wind around. And what used to drive me crazy was listening to the little tags on the zippers rattling. So little tent mod here, I ended up cutting all the little tags off the zippers and replacing with utility cord. I'll show you just here. Yeah, little bits of rope there, no more rattling. Righto, it's turned into a cracker of a day. Absolutely stunning. So we're hitting the Blue Rag Range track. Finally, seemed like we were waiting forever. It was really nice having like a cold snow day yesterday. Just did snow things, mulled wine and kept warm by the fire and hot teas and all the good stuff. But yeah, definitely stoked to be on the track. All right, let's go. Blue Rag Range is a narrow ridgeline track. It's fairly easy to drive, but the deep valleys either side of the steep sections can be quite intimidating.
And at the summit, with an altitude over 1600 metres, you get one of the most incredible views you can have from the seat of your car. We had planned to complete the track and camp by the river, but with conditions like this we couldn't leave and decided to set up at the top. Alright, we are now on the Talbotville Road heading out towards the Crooked River track. The Crooked River track takes you down a beautiful valley and has an insane number of water crossings. The stretch from Kingswell Bridge to Talbotville Campground was like a maintained farm track but had larger water crossings. The next section had smaller water crossings but got more technical with rocks and holes to navigate on the short climbs. I'd feel bad sending Tessa across the icy rivers on foot, so for this one, I've got the camera and she's taking the wheel.
How do you do this to me?
I was like, it's gonna fall in the hole. Spotting is harder than it looks. It's way easier just to drive. Man, it doesn't even show, but this is so steep. What if I roll the camera this way?
Yeah.
Whoa! Last on our trio of tracks is Billy Goat's Bluff. It's only 8k's long but climbs over 1,000 metres from the valley below. This thing is the real deal. It's steep, it's scary, and it's the type of track where you'd want a winch as a backup.
That's so steep. What the hell? Was it a bit hard to get in? The seatbelt won't work. Action. Alright, so already this thing is crazy steep. Our winch doesn't work, so hopefully we don't need that. I've been meaning to test it like all week, but I keep forgetting, and I checked it at the bottom. Nah, no go. Not sure why, but whatever. But yeah, we've already witnessed guys on motorbikes turning around because it's too hectic for them. Like, I don't know, that's pretty sketchy, but there's just sharp rock everywhere. You like want to protect your tyres, but it's just a puzzle as to where you're going to put your tyres. Like there's no good spot, so you just end up going in a straight line.
It was tricky finding the right tyre pressure for this track. In some sections I needed less pressure for better traction, but in others I needed more pressure to reduce the chance of a sidewall puncture on the sharp rocks.
Pretty much just there.
This is a section where I needed more traction. Bouncing all four wheels up the ledge at the same time was a scary moment. I was worried that if the car bounced backwards, I wouldn't be able to stop it. If the winch was working, I would have used it. The off-camber wheel lifts were also quite stressful. Big angles on big hills don't feel so good. Another spot where the winch would have been nice. Alright, we've made it to the top, thankfully. I'm glad it's over. Like, I had heaps of fun, but I am glad it's over because it started getting scary, and you know, sitting at that out of comfort level for over an hour is like pretty wild. Alright, next stop is the Pinnacles Lookout. I
think we'll have good views up there, so that'll be nice. And just in time for lunch too, so perfect.